going on, everybody? Welcome back to Camera Creamers Outdoors. Today we're going to talk about flipping and pitching, just the basics when you're beginning. First we're going to start with what you need. You need at least 7-foot rod, medium heavy to heavy action, a faster, probably 6.8 at least. I would recommend 7.1 to 1 baitcaster. I really don't know how you would flip and pitch with a spinning reel. It might be possible, I don't know. And then to practice, you're going to want a jig. This is a 3/4 ounce football jig, and I just have a trailer so I don't hook myself with the hook. For line, I throw 65-pound braid. This is Power Pro Slick 8 braid. It's a little faded, but it'll work for the demonstration purpose of this video. So let's talk about the setup. When you first start flipping, you're going to want to set your brake up to like 9, maybe even 10. But we'll start with 9. Try it once. If you get a bird's nest, then you'll just put it up to 10. Right now I'm flipping. My settings are 4 on the brake, and then I have my attention set for the weight of the bait. And now let's talk about some don'ts. What you don't do when you flip is you don't load your tip like this. You don't want to do that. You're going to lose accuracy because it's going to spring and it's going to go to the right of the pocket or to the left of the pocket. When you're flipping, you're basically flipping into heavy cover. Now you're looking for pockets in the mats or pockets in the pads where you can slip that bait down in, pop it up a couple times, and then pull it back out and go do it again. Flipping started out with this technique. This is what flipping started out as. You come up on a spot, you pop it out, you pull your line, you pop it, and then you go out and you pull back in and you set it again and do some more. That's what flipping originally, the technical flipping term is. Now, in the last 3 or 4 years, flipping's turned into flipping and pitching. So what I'm going to be teaching you today is the technical term for pitching. I really don't flip. It's only really for muddy water purposes. I don't have a lot of muddy water lakes up here, so I've been doing a lot of pitching. You can't get quite close enough to make flipping worth it. So it's the same function, just instead of using your rod for the pendulum, you essentially use your line for the amount of distance that you're going to get. So let's get into the basic setup for pitching. So you're going to bring your bait about even with your reel. Now right now you'll see this is disengaged. So you're going to bring it up, click your bait, or click your reel so it's engaged, and you're literally going to bring your rod tip down, holding your bait at your side, and you're just going to flip your wrist and see. So you see that's out, and stop it where you want it to go. Now I want to hit that leaf out there. I'm sure you can't see it on the screen, but I was loading it. I loaded the tip, which, well, that was outloaded. Without loading the tip, I hit the leaf dead on. So basically, you don't want to load your tip. It's all in your wrist. You want to just flip your wrist. The harder you flick your wrist, the further the bait's going to go. So my suggestion would be to set up a couple targets, set one out 30 feet, set one out 50 feet, 10 foot, and then just literally sit there and practice hitting your targets and getting as far as you can out and as accurate as you can. That way you kind of get the muscle memory of, I need to flip my wrist this hard to get the bait this far, I need to do this soft to get it here, so on and so forth. And you know, with time you'll get it. Took me a couple weeks to get down pat so I was comfortable flipping, and you know, now I can sit there and know that if I want to get out towards that shed, I'm just gonna. But if I want to get close and then, you know, I want to work that weed edge, I just barely pop it and it goes. So it's a really effective way to do things. You cover a lot of water really fast. You can flip and pitch. Well, you can pitch into an area 5 or 6 times in the time that one person works a frog back once. So it's very effective, very efficient. You can cover a lot of water. You can use jigs. If you can get away with using a jig, your rod's stiff enough that you can pull that back out. If it gets snagged, use a jig. Otherwise, put on a tungsten weight. Check down, I'll link in the description my setup for flipping on a lighter scale. And basically the heavier you got, you see these guys flipping 1.5 ounce, 2 ounce tungstens with a creature bait. That's great. It all depends on two things. It depends on depth, and it depends on how windy it is. If it's not windy, I'll throw, a creature bait with a 1/2 ounce to a 3/4 ounce. And that's fishing anywhere from basically 2 to 6 feet of water. So yeah, 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce. And if it's windy, or I'm trying to get a little bit deeper, especially if it's windy though, I'll go up, because the heavier your bait is, the more accurate your cast is going to be, and the less likely it is that the wind is going to carry that cast away from your target point. So I'm just going to demonstrate this a couple more times so you guys can get the gist of it. It's very simple. I mean, you literally come down and all your action is going this way. Your wrist is doing this, just like a motorcycle throttle. Your wrist is not doing this. You get more power doing this than you would do this. So you see guys that come in and they flip like this, and they just tuck it back and they flip it out. That's fine if you're close, but you really want to flick your wrist like this. And I found that with flicking your wrist naturally, like this, you're keeping it low to the water. You got a more subtle entry into the water, and the fish really don't pick up on the fact that maybe there's some line attached to that bait. Now, so to start out, always when you're practicing, put like a craw on the back of your jig so you can grab a hold of the feet instead of the bait, and just bring it up. Disengage your reel so the spool moves freely. Bring your rod tip down without loading it. Cast it up. Thumb, stop it. Reel it back. Just do that a bunch of times. You guys will get it down eventually. And what I've picked up on now is that you come back, so you get the pendulum like that. You can flip without grabbing the bait. So you can just have your reel back section like this. Come back, reel back out. It's really easy to do. You can get back into the target points. You just have to realize where you're going with the bait. I can sit there and go back to that same spot all day. It's really simple. So I hope this video helped you guys. I know it's a little bit more in depth than I usually do, but I felt like it should be covered. I did a video on the tackle for it, so I might as well do a demonstration on just the basics, how to flip and pitch, what to use. Like I said, jig, reaction, innovation, sweet beaver are good. Any gambler baits are good. I use the why nots, the burner craws, the crawdaddies. Baby crickets are good when they want a small profile. So check them out. I'll link those down in the description. I hope this helped. If it did, smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new. Catch you guys on the next video. Peace.